Hello my dear health seekers, Inga from Health Origins here. So today I've got an exciting recipe I'm going to be trying out myself for the first time, and I'm making brownies, and these are peanut butter and jelly brownies. So I'm using Bosh recipe, kind of adjusting a couple of ingredients within it, but yeah, let's begin. So you need a food processor for this ideally. It could probably work in a blender as well, in a pinch, but ideally you want a food processor. So I've got 300 grams of whole wheat pastry flour. So this is like a lighter flour. It's made from lighter wheat varieties, so it basically acts as pastry. It's lighter flour, so 300 grams of that. And Bosh guys had 400 grams of the light muscovado sugar. I think they had 400 grams, so even more than the flour. So I've reduced it by 100, then 300 grams of sugar, 300 grams of flour. So I've used the Demerara sugar here. You could use coconut sugar, actually that would work really well, but I've ground my Demerara sugar a little bit to like castor sugar consistency. So I'm adding that here, 300 grams. Then they had 160 grams of cocoa powder, and if you have, use that, but I haven't got enough. I've got 105 grams of cocoa, and you know me, I'm substitution and omission queen, so I'm just going with it. I'm sure it's still gonna be quite chocolatey anyway, because that's quite a bit of cocoa powder there. So that's 105 grams that I'm using, but you can use the full 160 grams that the Bosh boys recommend. Then I'm going to add my salt. So this is half a teaspoon of salt here. So I'm using a Himalayan pink salt in this instance. Then you need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, I believe, although I'm not sure what purpose this baking powder is achieving in the brownies, because brownies don't really rise. I think they're quite fudgy and they're quite clumped up together, you know, it's quite solid. So I'm not sure what baking powder actually does in this recipe. I might ask them. But anyway, I'm gonna put it regardless, because I'm trying it for the first time. I might try it without a baking powder next time. So this is all the dry ingredients. So I'm gonna give it a quick whiz before adding the wet ingredients. So just a quick 15-second whiz, that's all it needed to just mix up all the flour, the sugar, and the cocoa powder. So we've got that all uniform now, and I'm going to be adding our wet ingredients. So they are using actually water, so 220 grams, or it's the same as 220 ml of water, but because I made some delicious pumpkin seed milk and sunflower seed milk. I'm using some sunflower seed milk because I actually now prefer pumpkin seed milk. It's so delicious and it doesn't separate that much in the fridge. So I think that's my new favorite milk. I'll link to the recipe in the card above and in the description below of the two milks, how quickly and easily you can make them. But this is some sunflower seed milk. I think it'll give that extra bit of richness to this brownie instead of just water. So adding the milk here, and then I've got 20 grams of peanut butter. So that's the only actual fat that they used in this brownie recipe, which I was quite surprised at, because Bosh boys like their rich and dishes and their oils and their butters and all sorts, but this one I was quite surprised that that was the only fat, and it's natural fat from peanut butter that they used in this brownie. So this is 20 grams of that going in the mix. What else? Oh, vanilla. So they were using 2.5 tablespoons of vanilla essence. and I thought, wow, that's quite a lot. But I've got a vanilla paste because it was hard getting essence anywhere for weeks now with this pandemic thing. So I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla paste because it's so precious. So 1 and just over 2 teaspoons I've used. In fact, let me just go 3 because I want it to be obviously following more or less to the recipe. So don't want to skimp it. So I'll put 3 teaspoons of vanilla paste. Yum, vanilla-y. so that's that, and I think that is it for the mixture. So let me blend this together now. Wow, my food processor has actually gone a little bit stuck here as it's processing this really heavy mix. Because obviously there's a lot of flour and there's a lot of sugar too, so it's quite a sticky, thick mix, and actually was looking like that in their video too. It's just kind of, I think it might have just done it. It looks pretty uniform, so I think I'm gonna just put it in, and we're gonna put the peanut butter and jelly topping on the top as well. So I've got my glass dish, or you could use ceramic dish, something oven proof obviously, with a parchment paper in there just to make it easier to take out the brownie. So I'm gonna just take the blade out. And one thing actually I forgot to put in, 50 grams of dark chocolate chunks they put in. I have this little baggie of little uniform chocolate chunks already, and that's 100 grams actually, but I think because I've got less of cocoa in here, I'm just gonna go and put the whole bag in, just to compensate a little bit with the sweetness and the cocoa flavor. So yeah, so it's really kind of stiff and sticky, this brownie, but that's kind of what you want, I believe, in brownies. So we're gonna just try and put it in here and distribute it evenly. So it's fairly solid, so I'm gonna try and just press it down with my spatula here and even it out. It's quite a task, this, because the dough is quite, you know, stiff, but I think I managed all right. So I'm gonna just put these little chocolate chips. I'm gonna try and pop them inside a little bit, squeeze them with my finger, try and get them a little bit inside. If you can do it in the food processor, it'll probably be easier for you, but that's actually quite therapeutic, putting them in. It's like seeding some chocolate seeds in the ground. Quite fun. Your kids might want to help you do this as well. I think they'll enjoy this part. Yeah, in fact, I think I'll probably just I'll probably not use the whole pack in the end. Just use half of it, because it's actually quite a lot of these chocolate bits to sprinkle in. Wow. Yeah, quite a lot of small bits in here. It'll be nice once they melt as well in the oven, and I've got my oven preheating at 160 degrees, so it's quite, you know, a cool oven, so 160 degrees, and we're going to be baking this for 45 minutes. So right, so let me just put some peanut butter. So I'm gonna do some blobs of peanut butter just everywhere randomly. Right, that, and then I'm gonna put blobs of raspberry jam. So this is a bit of maybe about 3 tablespoons or so. That was about 30 grams or maybe 3-4 tablespoons of peanut butter, and this is about 3 good tablespoons of raspberry jam, or jelly as Americans would say. PBJ brownies, I think Bosh boys called them. Yeah, so let me, and then once you've got them blobs, you can kind of swirl them round and mix them together a little bit on the top, kind of distribute it more. So you kind of mix it in, and so it creates a nice kind of more uniform surface layer here. Just mix bits of jelly and peanut butter together. And there's also going to be obviously the chocolate bits melting. It's going to be yum. I'm really looking forward. I was craving some kind of sweet bake all week this week, but I never kind of got around to making one. But when I saw these peanut butter jelly brownies from Bosh yesterday, I thought I need to make them. So there it is. So this is ready to now go into the oven for 45 minutes on 160 degrees, and we'll check afterwards. The brownie is done. In fact, it has been cooling down for the last 2 hours. I was actually busy, and then we had lunch. So now, after a walk, I really am looking forward to try this. Look at this, and it has risen quite a bit, probably about maybe half or maybe a third it's risen. So let me just cut a piece out and do a little taste test for you. So, wow, we'll see whether it's really brownie looking inside. Still some gooey chocolate at the top. Wow, look at that, it's proper compacted. It's looking really good, really brownie-ish. Let me just, I'll cut off a smaller piece so I can taste test, but I really look forward to having the rest of it with a cup of tea. Oh wow. So many flavors, because I had the bite with jelly or jam and the peanut butter at the top. Wow. And actual brownie, it's quite dense, but it's nice. It's not maybe as gooey as some brownies can be, but I actually don't mind that, because I think it's great with a cup of tea, and you could actually take it in your hand without it getting too kind of mushy. So this is good. I think it might be a little bit too dry and stodgy, like this bit. Maybe I did it a little bit too thick. I think I would, next time, I would put it on a thinner base. There's almost a bit too much of that, you know, kind of base bit. It's a bit too thick or too large, too high for a brownie. Normally they're like half the size, aren't they? So I think you need a larger tin, but the taste is good. The base, like I said, it's a bit dry. So I wonder, actually, next time I would probably put slightly more of liquid, so you know, a bit more of the milk, I think, because it was really stiff and dry, actually, the batter. So next time I'll put a little bit more milk and spread it thinner in the base. But yeah, I think good first attempt, so thank you, Bosh guys. It's actually quite a good recipe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up if you're gonna try it. And let me know what other recipes you'd like to see here on the channel. If you're new here, welcome and subscribe for more videos just like this on Wednesdays, and meal prep for weight loss show every Sunday. And remember, food is fuel, so be mindful of what you put in your body. Until next time.